Hi everyone, welcome to our Sunday Morgellons call. It is Sunday, January 16th, 2022. The East Coast is getting ready to be hit by a giant storm, allegedly. We'll see what happens. And I'm here today with Richard Kuhn, the world expert on Morgellons and other skin parasites. I'm Robin from Western Mass, his co-host. I'm honored to be part of this call. And, Richard has worked so hard. He never stops learning. He never stops researching. He is on the 11th edition of the book, which should be done very soon. And he's here for us. He's here every Sunday. You can email him with short questions. And so I'm very grateful for all Richard does for us, and here he is, Richard Kuhn.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for that introduction, Robin. I didn't set out to become any kind of expert on these skin parasites. I set out the same path you all did, itching and biting and not figuring out what the hell's going on, and going from doctor to doctor and trying this after this, after this, after this, and having success for 3 or 4 days and then only be disappointed for what seemed like forever until the next thing came down the pike that I would try. So let me start with, we're going to jump right into questions and answers, and it can get technical. I can be giving advice. Robin can be giving advice. So the FDA requires us to inform you so that we know what's what, so that you know what's what, and that is before you start the King diet or accept any of our recommendations, you are to discuss them thoroughly with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you are presently experiencing. The AMA and FDA also require us to tell you that we are not, again, medical doctors, we're trained medically, so we cannot diagnose you. We cannot treat you medically or any disease. The topic of the day will be guilt. Guilt from what? Well, you can have guilt from any mistake, but usually the mistakes that we make are really impossible to recognize until after the mistake has been made. And that is that we can accidentally infect someone else with our organisms. I mean, many people write me and tell me or ask me, why is it that when I'm around other people that they begin scratching and they begin itching? You know, why is that? You know, and well, it's because until we get onto this King diet and get into the program or something to make a difference. I'm not saying the King diet is the only way to skin the cat. It's the only way I know. If you can find another protocol that works, great for you, fantastic. But until then, the idea is to make the diet work. But until you are basically symptom-free in terms of itching and biting, you're a walking, talking, breathing parasite machine, all right? And it is easy to infect somebody else. All right, now this is a controversial subject, all right? If you read or talk to anybody at the Charles Holman Foundation or talk to Dr. Saverly, a recognized medical expert, wrote the book, Morgellons, the legitimization of a disease. You know, that's an easy word, right? And I don't know what page it is, but she states Morgellons is not contagious. Now, they don't even recognize there are things such as springtails that can infect the human skin and be contagious. Or even mites. They don't discuss that. You know, they don't talk about these things. So, bottom line is, I've experienced it. I have given it to other people. Probably 7 or 8 during my first 20 years of dealing with this thing. And believe me, there's a substantial amount of guilt. The first person that caught it from me, now, you know, real brief, I was in my backyard. Every year, these vines grow up into my huge pine trees and they strangle them. So I cut the vines and I pull them out, pull them down. and one tree, there was a cloud of dust that descended upon me. I made, big deal. So a few minutes later, I finished. I went in, took a shower, and figured that would be the end of it. 4 days later, my significant other and myself were sitting at my mother's place on the couch, and simultaneously, to the very minute, we both began itching and scratching. And it was unbearable. It was relentless. We had to go find a tub. The only thing we could think of was get a bath. And we had to go find a hot bath tub and fill it with hot water and take turns. We couldn't wait I couldn't wait for my turn to get some kind of relief. And that was my modus operandi for several years, was just taking hot, scalding, near scalding baths 2-3 times a day to relieve the itching and biting. So why did she get it? I was the one exposed to the tree and the dust. Well, these things are contagious, and that's the way it is. Now, again, the foundation every year, at least until COVID started in Austin, Texas, they invited everybody to come to a conference. Last thing I would ever go would be there. Absolutely. You go in with one variation and walk out with another one. But they claim it's not contagious. Well, they do use a word infectious, perhaps. So what's the difference? If you have exposure to somebody else and you end up having the similar symptoms, or if not the same symptoms, what's the difference between contagious and infectious? It's the end result. Well, the first time around, I didn't know enough about this to feel guilty. We just were scratching our heads trying to figure out what the hell happened and why we were both itching. And we go to doctors. She was a critical care nurse in a local hospital. She knew who the physicians were, who the good ones were. She went, and there were no answers. I started going to dermatologists, plug samples. No answers. Well, this is detailed pretty much in chapter 2 of the book, so I'm not going to be redundant. Since then, I have, a couple of years later, I had occasion to visit her sister in Atlanta and stay over a few days. And I was very cautious. I, borrowed the iron to iron the sheets and tried to do everything I could do without announcing, hey, I got some kind of bug that you might catch. I tried to keep it low key and keep from, well, believe it, her sister got infected. Yes. Well, that was a tremendous amount of guilt on my part. Okay, should I have told them? Should I have warned them? Maybe I shouldn't have gone. All these things, what ifs. They play over and over in your mind. So this is the first time. Fortunately, not everybody is impacted to the same degree as some of us are. And it was relatively easy for her sister to get rid of it over the course of time. Also, with my significant other, she wasn't impacted to the same degree either, and was able to get rid of it over time much easier than it was for me. So anyway, since then, there have been a few other situations where I've infected others, and believe me, the guilt is enormous. How to deal with it, we're going to talk about that. And if you'd like to share your personal experience, Robin, I forwarded you an email. Would you like to read it?
So this is from Mary. She says, the diet works beautifully for me. I still shed black specks, but some days feel cured. The problem is I gave this to my grandmother. She's 97 and in a wheelchair. She has a bloody earlobe. She had a bloody earlobe, which I treated, and I do her scalp and clean and sweep her apartment every day. I go every day. I feel so responsible. I cried the entire way home. I ordered Nitin, Pyram, Lufeneron, ivermectin, and I haven't administered anything to her. I do put GE in her tea, and she drinks it. I've been a mess. Here I thought I was getting better, and look what I've done to her. She told me the back of her head is so itchy, and sure enough, I saw bites. Her earlobe is healed. I was thinking that maybe one of the other drugs that stopped the itching would help her. in biblical times, I guess I would live at a leper colony. I don't even know what I have, and here I thought I was close to cured.
Wow. Have you, over the course of your experience, have you infected anyone else, Robin? What's your experience?
I have, I want to say 3 people, but I noticed them itching right away, and I told them what to do, and they got rid of it like overnight.
Yeah, it's great if you can catch it right away, and you can be upfront with them, and you can.
Right. Yeah.
That's
so it was
be very proactive.
really fine, and they washed their clothes right away with ammonia, and it was not a problem. But I know this is a heartbreaking situation, and I'm always, I mean, I'm not totally clear. I'm like 90% clear, but I take such precautions before I go visit. Yesterday I went to visit my family. I mean, the good thing is we all stayed 6 feet apart and wore masks, and you know, didn't have any real contact. But it's a tough situation, and the thing is that if they're in her hair, she needs to do the hair treatments. All these other drugs are supportive and will help, but they're not going to get them out of her grandmother's hair.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's exactly what I would say. She needs to do the protocol with, you know, as we've often talked about on this call, of applying the Nature's Gift and the MSM gel and peppermint and lather it into the hair, and the shampoo, and put a bathing cap on and keep it wet, and it may clear up.
Right,
Yeah.
And the other thing she needs to do is like disinfect the wheelchair and wash and the clothes that her grandmother wears. I mean, if it's in her hair, it's probably spreading other places. Most of the people that I infested, one had the back of her neck and the beginning of her hair, and one it went right to his eyes. Mm-hmm. Actually, and he got infested twice, but caught it really fast.
That's good.
So, yeah.
In her case, the electrostatic sprayer would be good to deal with the wheelchair, because
right.
When you're dealing with something like a wheelchair, you've got to get all of it, all 360 degrees around every post, everything where they could possibly have shed or be.
Right.
Yeah, and we do have one on sale still. We were able to get another electrostatic sprayer, so we do have another one still on sale.
I know that it's hard not to feel terrible and guilty and overwhelmed, but we just have to move forward and be proactive, and I think that it's a form of despair to say I don't even know what I have. I mean, you have parasites, you have Morgellons, you have all these other things. It doesn't matter what you have. The cure is the same for all of it.
Well, yeah, we don't say cure.
All right. Well, the treatment is the same.
We don't even say treatment.
What do you say? Okay, I'm sorry.
How we deal with them is the same. How we clean them.
Exactly.
Yeah, what we can do, by the way, I told you everything that we can't do. We can't cure, treat, mitigate, but what we can do is educate, and that's what this is about. We can educate how to utilize the King diet so that when you make it work, it's like you put them to sleep. I don't know, you put them into kind of a trance state. We don't know what it does exactly, but the essence is that that's how it is. They go into like a trance state. They're non-operative, and we can instruct you how to clean them out of your skin, out of your environment, and we can instruct you in the supplements that promote health and immune functioning. That's what we're allowed to do. So, yeah, we don't treat or cure.
This is Donna Mae speaking.
Okay, Donna Mae, here comes the fastball. Hit it. Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay. Morgellons is definitely contagious, but we can be very, very careful. Fortunately, in the 20 years I've had it plus, I have not knowingly infected anyone. I don't see a lot of people, but I have spent some time with my children and grandchildren, and none of them have any symptoms at all. I just have been very, very careful. It's a disease I would not wish on my worst enemy if I had one. And I can just imagine what the guilt would be knowing that someone else caught it from my carelessness or just my ignorance, probably. But I do think that one of the best things is the debriding soap. I have found that to be very, very helpful and sticking very, very straight with the King diet and experimenting a little bit at a time, just one thing at a time to see if I can go off just on one thing and how it would affect me. And that means keeping a good log of things that are going on in my body. And so far, I think I have it under control finally. And
Great.
It's been just a relief. Just been a relief because, excuse me, as you know, it can become so devastating that one wants to go to the next life. You know, stop the world, I want to get off because it's just unbearable. But doing everything that you can, following your diet and using the appropriate measures and keeping track of your own responses in your body is probably the best thing that we can do to keep ourselves from going insane and keeping other people from getting this horrible disease.
Well, you did a great job.
I'm very, very grateful.
You did a great job.
Very, very.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Making through those 20 years must have been really a challenge. And how long ago did you find my program?
About 7 or 8 months ago.
Great. And wow. So I'm so happy that you're with us and that the program is working for you. It works.
Yes, it does. And I noticed I missed a few because, you know, life is a busy place, so I wasn't able to go on these past couple of months on the program that you're having every Sunday. But I did notice when I was going through some of them that you had mentioned about garlic oil. And I do garlic oil. I put them, after I put your debriding soap on, I put garlic oil on it, and I find that very helpful. And you were saying that you couldn't find it anywhere, but I make my own. The stuff that I use externally, I just use olive oil and about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil and press 2 large cloves of garlic into it and just shake it every day or mix it up every day, and you can start using it after the first day, and the longer you let it set, the better. Mm-hmm. I just leave the garlic in and it's all used up. But I'm sure that you can make it with other oils as well.
Yeah, you can use any oil in that regard for external use. The mistake that I had made was I put garlic oil on the diet as something you can consume, because one time in my life I did actually find real pure garlic oil that was not mixed with anything else, and I just assumed that it would be readily available, and I put it on the diet, which was a mistake, because I have not been able to find it anywhere, and anybody who has ever found garlic oil finds exactly what you found, and it's mixed with usually olive oil, and so that means you cannot consume it. You can apply it to your skin. You can make your own, but you do not consume it because it will activate the parasites. Thank you so much. Keep coming back. Love to have you, and love to have you share your success.
Well, thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Who's next, Chris?
Hi, this is Nancy, and I have the same. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Good.
I'm just new with your program, and I've been waiting for something like this for like over 20 years, like that woman that was just talking, and I'm pretty much just exactly the same as she is, and I haven't infected anyone one to the best of my knowledge, and I don't know how that's possible, but me and my ex-husband both got this, like, we felt like we got this the exact same night, and we were watching my grandson, and we brought him home that night. So I don't know, maybe that's what saved him. But this has been the most horrifying thing for 20 years, you know, it's crazy. I mean, I tried your debreeding soap, and that seemed to help somewhat. I don't know, these parasites, whatever they are, may be sort of dying off, because when I first got this, it was just awful. I just felt so overwhelmed by this, like I was being attacked by something. And I don't know. One morning I sat there and I said to my husband, I said, I felt like something flew up my nose. And I mean, it just seemed like it covered every inch of my body. And I've been trying, use your debreeding soap, and I want to try a couple other products because I really need this to be gone. I used to be a pretty active person, and I don't know what else to do. I'm not so great with diets, to be perfectly honest, but I am trying.
I'm glad you brought up the subject. Do not try anything else until you make that diet kick in. Yeah. None of my products, no medicine, nothing make that diet work. When you make that diet work, it's like they go to sleep. They go in a trance state, and then you can do it. And then you can effectively clean your skin, clean your environment, everything. Until then, you're a walking, talking, breathing parasite machine. So I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm not here to say, oh, go try this lotion, this Super MSM gel lotion. That's what. No way. Make that diet work. That's the program. Everything else makes the diet work faster and better.
It just doesn't seem as bad, nowhere near as bad as when I first, got this. But, I mean, I don't know. Diets are kind of slow for me, so I guess I just have to start back all over with stage 1, right?
Stage 1. I'm not saying these products are not going to make life better for you if you're not doing the diet. They definitely will. But if you want the success that I have generated for myself and Robin and many hundreds of others, make the diet work. Make it history. Make the organisms history. Okay? I'll
definitely give it my best shot. For sure.
Great super news is the diet is free. I'm not charging $1,000 for this diet. It's worth $1,000.
I know. I'm just so bad with diets and getting the exact right ingredients that you need, I mean,
I hate them. I hate diets. I spent 20 years as a Swiss management professional, worked with weight management for 20 years. We never dealt with diets. We dealt with emotional eating. People eat when they're bored. People eat when they're frustrated, angry. They eat when they're happy. So we dealt with that. Never went on a diet. Never. But I did do a lot of work with people who had sensitivities to certain foods, allergies, say to even things like orange juice. Some people are allergic to something like orange juice. It creates like a hypoglycemic response, nervousness, anxiety that leads to overeating. So I did a lot of work with that. So I knew about diet sensitivities, which made it reasonable to do the diet the way I did it as an elimination diet. See what you could eat. And then experiment. Add something else. Try eggs. And then I added butter. And then I added popcorn. No, I really didn't, but it would have been disastrous. So you add things, and it's amazing. It's like being a kid. I remember being a kid, maybe second grade, walking down the sidewalk, avoiding all the cracks. Some cement pretty cracked up. So that's what it's like. It's only don't step on the cracks. So find the foods that work. Keep a diary. Put these suckers to sleep.
Oh, I so want to do that. So I'm going to really definitely give it my best shot. And butter is about the only thing that you can use for You know, none of the other things like country crock or any of that.
No, no blends, no country
Just
club.
butter. Just butter.
Butter, rice bran oil.
Yeah.
Rice bran oil.
Okay.
And all animal fats. All animal fats are good. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing. Keep coming back. Read the book. The book is like a Bible. Every time I read it, I can't believe, yeah, that's in there, really. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, read the book. It's a research project. Who's next, Chris? Thank you. Keep coming back.
Tony, you can go, Tony.
Tony.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Richard. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Tony.
I'm glad you brought up about the guilt feeling, because I'm going to attempt to go back to work next month, I guess in 4 weeks. So I know my office there is infected. I'm kind of reluctant to go back there. I do have an opportunity to go to another building, but I have a lot of stuff there, so I'm going to have to go through all that. And I have like a Tyvek suit. I'm going to suit up and try to get rid of things maybe over a weekend and spray and use the ozone generator and try to do what I can so I don't get reinfected.
Do you have the electrostatic sprayer?
I do. I'm on my second one. And,
all right, that's a good thing to take there because it's fast, it's efficient, you can spray things, and not too noticeable. Everybody, you know, with COVID around, disinfecting is a way to go.
Yeah, I think it would be good for that COVID too, as well, as to try to kill off any viruses. Because I'm using enzyme cleaner.
You don't have to create an excuse, you know, with COVID around.
Yeah, I don't think anything of it.
Yeah. So, but I am still worried, like, of giving other people. However, this week I was, and I guess this is. The thing that I was really wanting to talk to you about was that I think I made a turn for the better, finally, again. It turns out that a can of crushed tomatoes that I bought from Costco had citrus acid in it. And it's been a week since I've had any, and I'm feeling so much better. But that was like the only thing I could figure out that may have been the thing that was keeping the parasites active on me. And the last 2.5 days, I've been feeling really good after feeling very overwhelmed again. So,
great. Yeah, that's an important find because citric acid is not on the diet, but it could be on the diet, but it is not on the diet, and because it's often from different sources. Citric acid can be from soy. So if the citric acid is from soy, it's not going to be a good thing.
And corn, yeah. I heard that years ago, and I know I saw it in the book and had to see it again a couple more times before it finally clicked. So it was amazing to me. So anyway, thank you for putting in the book and listening to me every week and for being here.
Keep coming back, Tony. You're on your way, and in a few months, you're going to be one of our coaches. Okay.
Thank you. Take care.
You know, thank you. You know, what makes a great coach is somebody has to go through it, you know, to find and discover and see how easy it is to make mistakes. A lady wrote in that she had viewed one of the YouTube presentations we did, several months back about constipation. And she wrote in and said, well, you know, I found an answer, prune juice. First thing that popped into my mind, prune juice. So I wrote her back and said, be cautious. And she acknowledged, I've been having trouble since I started the prune juice.
Right.
Juice is not on the diet. It can help deal with constipation, but it is not on the diet. So we make these silly mistakes. We attempt to solve one thing, not thinking about the ramifications of the whole thing.
This is Clarice from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Clarice.
Hi. I found you a few months ago, and I have been reading the book and going through certain things.
Where was I hiding? Was I under the couch, or you found me?
I don't know, but I was continually searching, and I have so I encountered this journey about back in 2016. I received a package in the mail of some paper patterns, and they were in there. And when I opened up the box, I'd never encountered anything like this, of course, and I never even had experience with sleeves. So when I opened up the box, I just felt like light feathers, really, really light feathers just running up my arm. And I didn't know what it was, and I closed it up. And anyway, the box got moved to 3 different places in the house, and the entire house was infected.
What was it? Excuse me. What was it a box of? What did you get?
Commercial sewing patterns. They were paper products.
Oh, so, okay, yeah. So that could be infected with SOSIDs.
Well, they were vintage patterns.
Right.
So they were probably from an estate.
Okay.
It was probably from someone's house who was infected, and
right.
That's how I ended up with it. And it has been quite an experience for me, and it continues to be, because I have I guess for everyone else it's still the same thing. Everything seems like a catch-22. I live in a 3-story house with a basement, and with my mother that I take care of. And my mother is 96, and she has dementia. So everything that I had attempted to do during this journey, like spraying clothes and then covering them with plastic bags, my mother then comes back and takes the plastic bags off. She says she's not experiencing any of the itching or anything like that, but it has been so long that lately I've started noticing certain things. But if anyone understands caregiving people with dementia, you also understand one of the big things about them is they don't like to be in the tub. They don't want to shower. That washing they don't want to do. So now I have that on top of everything else. So I have spent thousands of dollars on a lot of different things trying to help. At this point, I cannot have anyone come in and help me with my mother because they will become infected. So I have to do all of this by myself. I'm trying to really explain all of this and not break into tears. Even my children, I don't allow them in the house. If I'm going to visit them, I'm jumping in the shower 5 minutes before they're coming, and then I'm jumping out of the shower, throwing my clothes on, and running out of the door. I have contributed so many plastic bags to the environment that in the last 6 years, I have used and disposed of more plastic bags than I would imagine a person should do in their entire lifetime, trying to cover up clothing, just, the whole thing. I had to quit my business. I'm a seamstress. I couldn't sit there handling people's clothing or making garments and hand it to a customer. When you're dealing with new things, you can't take them and try to launder them and then give them back before. I just couldn't do it. The guilt has eaten at me, not the guilt because I got the bugs, even though some people would like to make you feel guilty about having even encountered this. It's like, oh, it came through something you ordered? Yeah, I ordered patterns. I didn't order bugs. Anyway, I'm reading the book, and I have to kind of take things step by step. I have not started the diet yet. The reason I haven't is because I have to prepare food for me and for my mother. She's not going to eat certain things, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to do it. Then the catch-22 for me is, if I go through the diet and now they're no longer on me, but they could be on my clothes. It could be, you know, I'm taking them somewhere else. Like if I clean myself up, but they're in my environment and I'm not feeling them, then how do I know when I can have people come in the house? How do I know they're not there anymore? So it's a weird thing for me, and I don't know. But anyway, that's my stress. That's my guilt.
Thank you for sharing.
That's what I'm dealing with.
What I can say is the situation is not hopeless. The situation is not hopeless. You can, so you still have Chapter 3 to read through, a lot of instruction there. The plastic bags you're using are the wrong ones. You need the zippered or the closable, sealable plastic bags so that when you put things in, you can put in menthol crystals and disinfect, of course, the clothing effectively before you put them in and store them with menthol crystals. So we're going to cut your plastic bag usage way, way down to just maybe a dozen plastic bags that you can use over and over, but they're going to be zippered or airtight or Ziploc or something so that things can't get in and can't get out. And you're going to effectively disinfect your environment. You're going to clean them out of your skin effectively. And, of course, you're going to get things going with the diet. You're going to figure out a way to get your, is it your mother? I forget. Your mother
yes.
on the diet somehow. I mean, hamburgers on the diet. I mean, meat is on the diet. These are things that people like. Chicken is on the diet. There are many foods on the diet. Somehow you're going to get the vegetables. I don't know if she's a vegetable person. Does she like vegetables?
Only she's getting to be a real stickler. Introducing new things is just difficult, but I'm still working at it.
Okay. Anyway, all of this, it's going to be a challenge, and you'll get there. The guilt is enormous. I know the big, when I've infected people, especially a young person I had infected once, and all I could do is think about how it would be with that person infecting people that person knew, and how it would snowball, and how terrible it would be, and how it's going to ruin the person's life and everything, and lie sleepless awake at night. I know it's a tremendous amount of stress. But again, not everybody's affected to the same degree. There are many people. It's actually rolling the dice here. You're saying you're the only person you feel comfortable giving care to your mother, because if you bring somebody else in, they could become infected. Well, the operative word is could. We don't know. They have. They have. I in the beginning, I had two of my sisters coming in and helping. I in fact sent my mom with one of my sisters over to a hotel so that I could fog the house, and she ended up coming back with them. I had another sister who was here helping me with the house. When she got bitten, she automatically, the spot was swelling up. She took them back to her house. So I have spread it to those two people who were able to get close enough to help me with my mom, and I just can't. I understand.
I just can't.
Have your sisters been able to get rid of it or get over it, or are they still impacted by it?
One sister definitely has gotten over it. She, unfortunately, is part of me feeling guilty. When she went back home, it ended up that she felt them. She was the only one in her household of 8 people who felt it, and she was getting to the point where they think I'm crazy. So my other sister says she uses peppermint or something, so she's not bothered by them. So I can't absolutely say. I mean, she's not bothered by them at this point. She says whenever she feels them, she uses peppermint.
Right.
So that's it at this point. So that
she's figured out how to manage them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can't. And I mean, there's been times when I've had to have repair people come in, and I feel bad, but I've got to have my stuff fixed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of guilt.
Well, it could be a family thing, a genetic thing as to why your sisters and you are infected and your mother, and not necessarily. I mean, I had one lady many years ago. We had a public relations company and promoting my book, and one lady wrote the book and was looking for somebody to promote it, and she wrote back and she said, "This guy is full of crap. I got Morgellons and 230 people work for me and none of them have it. It is not contagious. This guy's full of crap." So she dropped my book. She didn't do anything with it because of her personal experience. 230 people, none of them infected. You lucky son of a gun, you. That's all I have to say. Even Dr. Saverly said. Yeah.
I also, because after I initially got this, of course I went to the doctor, and my primary, was didn't know what to tell me. Gave me something. I had a dermatologist who I loved this doctor. I had gone to see her about some other things. But when I went to that and I was telling her, I was assuming that I was going to get some kind of, great understanding response, the first words out of her mouth was like, "Oh, so you think you're being bitten?" And I was like, "Oh, brother."
You think.
So, yeah. But after that, I did go for counseling, more so because of my situation in terms of caregiving and having to do it by myself and the whole stresses involved with that. And I told the doctor that at that time. Well, I started taking alcohol with me to spray down the seat after I left. Well, I figured if I've been in your office like 2 or 3 times and I've told you that I have this issue and I'm spraying this chair down, I shouldn't have to bring my alcohol with me the 4th time. You don't have enough sense to spray your office down so that you don't end up with a problem. Okay. But then after about 9 months of this, and I was in her office, and she says to me, "Well, no one else has complained of itching when they've been in my office." Well, you know what, lady? If anybody goes home with bugs and they can't get rid of them, they really don't want you to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lucky her.
But thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
The thing about alcohol is it generally isn't strong enough to do much other than to aggravate them. So.
Well, 91% was all that I had to really rely on.
Yeah, I know.
For myself for a long time, but I
used alcohol in the beginning myself. Everybody goes through that generally. For some, like I said, everybody's affected to different degrees, and for some people it'll work. Other people, it just isn't gonna work on those organisms. So thank you for sharing. Keep coming back. There is a path. We'll find it. And often just coming back here and sharing your challenges and your creative intelligence will provide a path for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep coming back. Okay, who's next?
Lena, you can go next, Lena.
Hi, Nina.
Hi, how are you, Richard?
Good.
I have 3 questions. The first one is, I heard you say that marinated beef, it wouldn't be good, but is that like you marinate it with, is it okay to marinate it with salt and pepper? That's not considered what you're saying, right?
Oh, yeah. You can use, typically they use, I think, olive oil, but you can use rice bran oil to marinate.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. And then the second question is, what are your thoughts about infrared sauna and columbola?
Infrared sauna is good. Columbola.
Would it activate columbola? Would it aggravate them?
I don't think so.
Okay, the third question is that my experience is every time when there's new moon and full moon, I get more activities. But when the King's diet gets kicked in, would I still feel more activities whenever there's full moon and new moon?
Well, it would be to a varying degree. Say now you have, say on a scale of 0 to 6, your activity goes from 5 to 6 on a full moon. So when the diet kicks in, your activity would go from 0 to maybe a half or 1 on a full moon, and then eventually it'll be to 0. It won't go at all. It won't go at all.
Really? Wow, that's so good to know. Yeah.
I mean, this diet is incredible. The impact it has when you make it work. Now, years ago I said do the diet, and then I said try the diet. And now I say make the diet work, because we have enough people that have, they've adjusted, they've shifted, some people find they can have rice only a certain time a day, or they can't have any grains at all for a period of time. They have learned to make it work. So I've learned from them that it works. You just have to make it work. Go to whatever extent it is that you need to make it work. The results are amazing and worth it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep coming back.
Somebody alluded to getting these in their eyes, and she said she told them what to do. What do you do to get them out of your eyes? And it's like little granulars of sand.
There are several things that you can do. I'll go over a few of them, and then Robin can contribute some. Some people use colloidal silver. We have some in the store, 10 parts per million, I think it is, or 12 parts per million, and you can put that directly into your eyes. That's a good thing. You can get an eye wash cup and get some saline water and add a drop of concentrated Nature's Gift, and you can wash your eyes with that. The key here is whatever you're doing, don't do it just once and expect it's going to work for 6 hours or 8 hours. You're going to do it maybe every 20 minutes, every 15 or 20 minutes in the beginning, and be very aggressive with it. There's some medications listed in Chapter 6. There are about 6 different things, and it's all spelled out in Chapter 6. I don't remember all of them. Calendula extract is one of them. So, Robin, you want to?
Sure. Some people have used. Oh, it's in one of the videos that's on YouTube. They took. I don't know if it's MSM capsules, and they opened them up and sprinkled it on their eyebrows and eyelashes. I can't remember, or MSM gel, but you have to be careful with eyes. And the thing that I found, you can also spray with your eyes closed with a diluted Nature's Gift. But the thing that worked best for me with eyes was colloidal silver with an eye wash glass and rinsing my eyes every 20 minutes with 100% colloidal silver. It took about 4 days to clear my eyes. Also, as a last alternative, if you have a doctor who's willing to prescribe an eye antibiotic, that is also very effective, but you don't want to build up a resistance to antibiotics.
Yeah, and so look in Chapter 6. There are several different options, and one of our coaches, Megan, before she got into the program, had actually lost her eyesight, and after she got into the program, she got it back. So you could always get her phone number, which will be given out after the recording is over, and contact her. By the way, we do have several phenomenal coaches, and their phone numbers will be given at the end of the program after the recording has stopped. And each one of them has different specialties, expertise.
Also, Richard, I wanted to say I helped Megan with her eyes, so my eyes were pretty bad also, and I can help people with that. But I wanted to say about the red light therapy, it actually helps tremendously. It builds up your immune system. It helps hair grow back if you're losing your hair. And it does seem to discourage parasites. So I recommend it. It's easy, and you know.
Good. Okay. Who's next? Anybody?
Hi, this is Deborah from Hawaii.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, how are you? Okay. Anyways, I want to just share a little bit as far as you were talking about the guilt thing and all that stuff. And I mostly found that the problem I have is not giving it, because I take all the steps and I work on I don't do the diet 100%. I do it sometimes 100%. But anyways, for preventative stuff, like Robin was said, so I don't feel guilty, and I know I'm not going to, I put a lot of oils on, I follow a lot of the protocols, and people around me don't seem to have a problem at all. But the problem is anything that they may have, other people, they seem to, I have a problem with certain people that are, I don't know what's wrong. I get really infected and itchy when I'm around certain people. So my biggest problem is not the guilt of giving it to somebody. It's like, what do you do about that? You can't clean everything and everybody and the whole planet, So, because it's all around us.
I didn't really get the question. What is the question?
Okay. Well, the question is, you can only do so much, so you can feel guilt about giving it to other people, but then there's people in places you get exposed to it, and it's not like you can, it's in our environment so much and so much more as time goes on, I've noticed, because I keep traveling to places that I think might be better for me. And so anyways, the question was, you can't really do, I guess the answer is you stay away from certain people, but certain people infect me. I'm not so worried about infecting them, but they don't have the same thing, but they have the mites or whatever, or like you said, you go clean out some closet. I can't clean out everybody and everything. So, what do you do about that? I guess.
Well, are you talking about relatives or friends that you have where have mites or are dealing with them?
Yeah, I think so, but they're in denial, and I think there's a lot more people around us that are like that are in denial.
All right. This is a totally different issue, but it is a significant issue. It's an issue that actually bears its own program, and that is the dealing and living with people in denial and being around them. And they have the symptoms, they have the bites, they're itching, and they say nothing wrong with me. You're the crazy one. Well, right. Yeah.
That's one issue. I travel, and it's around.
Yeah.
But I guess you just stay away from certain places. You just live and learn, and you just stay away.
Well,
it's hard. It's really hard.
I don't know exactly what places you would find that you could identify. These things are microscopic. People tell me their whole neighborhood has got them, and they're outside everywhere. And other people, it's just they picked them up on an airplane seat and brought them home or something. So.
Right. Okay. So I got off topic there. So back on it. Yeah. I'm just ready to go ahead.
The most important thing is just to be socially responsible. Make sure that you are doing what you can do so that when you go out, you're not into a lot of symptomatology of itching and biting. That's when you're going to be contagious. Right. So you take the bath before you go out, and you take along, something. Robin, do you ever go anywhere without having some nature's gift with you?
No.
No, never. No. Look, we're not here to sell this stuff, but damn it, I never go anywhere without having it with me.
Now, I always have it with me, and I just got I go for a swim, and it's helped my eyesight a lot. I swim in the salt water. I'm right on the beach right now cooking. So I got myself an open air, and I just got out of the water and I put papaya on me, and then I just rubbed it into my skin, and coconut oil, and then I sprayed the Nature's Gift, and so I don't feel guilt of spreading the stuff. So I guess more so it's aggravating when I do all this, but I'm working on it, and I'm making progress thanks to this group and everything. It helps.
Great, keep coming back. We're in this. These things are becoming more important than ever now. I mean, back in Thanksgiving, I think the general thought was that, we're inoculated, we don't have to wear a mask anymore, and COVID-19 is going to be on its way out as more and more of us are getting inoculated, and along comes Omicron, and it doesn't affect us older people as much, but it's wiping out the younger population. And now they're talking about using these KN95 masks, and now we're finding out, what makes a good mask and what makes a bad mask. I heard one person said on the TV that if you can blow through the mask and extinguish a candle, it's not a good mask. And of course, you want them tight around the nose. And then I saw that a good mask is if you could put water in it and water doesn't leak through it, then it's a good mask. Well, that's these KN95s. Now, how long do they last? Well, can you wear them only once? Can you wear them 2 times? Actually, turns out you can wear these things. They're saying about a week, so that makes them very efficient. Now, why am I bringing this up? We have in our store a mask refresher, a mask cleaner. It's Nature's Gift in a spray bottle. I take it everywhere. So I clean my mask daily with it. It's a lavender scent, it smells great, and these guys will last forever. Just clean that mask. Now, it's great to have that too. If I feel a little itch, maybe once a month I might feel some skin itching or notice something, squirt right there. That's it. That's the end of it. So it's with me all the time, and it makes sense to have the mask cleaner be doing everything. It's got Nature's Gift. Okay.
I rarely wear a mask. I'm sorry. I don't like those things, but yeah, mask is necessary. It's mandated, but
it's the way of life.
Nobody here, and I'm around a dozen people, and nobody has a mask. I stay away from them. I wear my mask wherever I go. I'm 75. I do not want to take anything. And if I am infected, I don't want to take the possibility of infecting somebody I don't know just because I walked by them and sneezed or coughed or something or breathed on them. I'm not. Yeah, that's the textbook part of it, but I feel it makes us sicker. And anyways, that's a whole nother subject. So I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for the
Okay,
everything.
thank you. Keep coming back.
All right.
Who's next? We got anybody else? I got this email.
We are done for now, Richard.
Okay, I got this email, which I thought was interesting. And it points out a direction of the future. This has nothing to do with Morgellons or springtails, but she writes on the GAPS diet. Are you familiar with the GAPS diet? I was seriously considering this as my next strategy until stumbling across your website because it made good sense. Well, yes, there are many. Keto diet, the caveman diet, there are many diets that make a lot of good sense and are close to the king diet, but not the king diet. There's only one king diet because, all these great diets will allow you to have healthy foods like olive oil. And olive oil feeds these organisms. So there is no other diet. Dehydration. I am always so thirsty and nothing seems to help me. Do you have any recommendations? And also, do you have any suggestions to what water is the best drinking water? As of late, spring water has been my go-to. Right place to come to. The best drinking water is with our water infused with our ionic minerals. Distilled is the best, or a good healthy spring water like Poland Springs, but not in those cheap plastic jugs that just feed you plastic particles. You want to have purchase it in bottles or a heavy-duty plastic, that so you don't end up walking around being a walking credit card inside your body. Toothpaste. I know that you recommend baking soda in brushing teeth. Absolutely. Baking soda and both toothpaste is too harsh on my teeth and gums. Well, our baking soda toothpaste has a lot more in it than just baking soda. I used to use just baking soda by itself, and since we brought out our toothpaste, it's incredible. When you first start using our toothpaste, the taste is terrible. You think, wow, this is terrible tasting stuff. Yeah, how can anybody taste this stuff? It's terrible. After about a week, you're going to be looking forward to it and looking forward to, and it's a phenomenal taste when you get accustomed to it. So there are just a couple of questions that I thought would be interesting to share.
Robin, this is Lena.
Yeah?
I asked about the sauna, not the infrared light, but the infrared sauna. Do you know anything about heating your body? Would that affect the columbola growth?
Well, infrared sauna is using infrared lights, and it's just a body experience.
And the
it's great.
It's great. Sauna is okay.
It's not gonna activate them. It's gonna be helpful. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I found the email.
It's from Kimberly from Kentucky.
Yeah, let's not read the name of the rental cabin. We don't want to be liable for anything.
I won't. I've been suffering since July 2020 after I accepted a job at blah, blah, blah rental cabin company. She's a property manager. I first noticed they had bed bugs when I brought them home with me, but there was a great mystery. Something was like flying in the air and biting me. When I was in the cabins cleaning, dry mopping, and going under the furniture, I kept feeling bites like they were in the dust. It took me several months after treating for bed bugs to begin researching. Their pillowcases and quilts were infested. They are never cleaned in between guests. Oh my God. I mean, never. Linens are washed, but not actually pillows or heavy comforters. The owner's wife told me she had Lyme disease, and I had no idea about this back then. Initially, for months, I had the crawling, biting, stinging in my scalp, ears, nose, eyes. It felt as if eggs were being hatched in my head in the middle of the night, and then they would run all over my body. It took great courage to go to my first ER visit. I was full of anxiety. To my utter shock, the ER room did absolutely nothing. They asked me, "Do you drink alcohol excessively?" I don't drink at all. "What kind of medications are you taking?" And they diagnosed me as delusional. Of course, that can help, but, when you get that diagnosis, you don't know that can help. Because of that diagnosis, it prevented all others from taking me seriously. This was 18 months ago, and I have grown much, much worse. I'm just now beginning to read your ebook. You are truly sent by God to help others. I was ready to call it quits, having no hope left, but I know Jesus is going to give us the wisdom we need to get rid of this and be even healthier. Very similar to how I felt before I found you.
Well, it's amazing. Talk about guilt. Once this person who owns this camp or whatever it is wakes up and realizes that they've been a source of nothing but misery for all the people that have gone there, it's very much like people who have massage parlors or salons, and they cut hair and they suddenly discover the organism exists, and they've been changed, person after person coming there has been subject to it. It's got to be the biggest guilt trip in the world. I just don't know how anybody could handle that. you end up being responsible, unknowingly responsible for the misery for hundreds, not just one or two people, but literally hundreds of people. Wow. Too much for me to even wrap around my head. Here's another email. Thank you. I infected my aunt's apartment too. She's in Florida, and asked me to check her apartment once every few weeks. Imagine my sadness in finding Morgellons specks that were never there before. I went home, got my cleaning arsenal, and when I was done cleaning, coated every bit of her floors with diatomaceous earth. Although I don't have lesions and don't have to coat my hair in the daytime, this has morphed into something bad that I shed. It loves cotton, but is not picky. It's in my synthetics too. When I look specks under the microscope, oh, I see little things that look like pieces of Brillo pad. Well, that's Morgellons. And I don't know if the mite is in a protective coating, and if they look like fibers, I have no idea what I have. On one hand, I'm better. On the other hand, I need to be in a leper colony. My husband and daughter are away, coming home Monday. I did a massive cleaning, pulled apart my sofa and part of the sofa that I would never have checked. I'm going to describe it to you. To look under your sofa and take pillows off and spray, but the parts of the sofa closest to your legs, I don't know if people check. It looked down very sneaky. There were millions of fibers, and when I sprayed them, they scattered. I had to do massive cleanup, and I think you told me, or someone told me, that you have to take a vacuum bag out of the house or put it in a Ziploc bag. Wow. So there it is. It is contagious. We do spread them. We spread them by not only by skin-to-skin contact, but just being in the vicinity of other people. And oftentimes we can spread them and be totally uncognizant of what we've done, totally unaware of the ensuing result of having somebody else impacting, and them in turn affecting and infecting other people.